So, excuse my ignorance here, but where does Chile stand today with regards to the pandemic? I think you were mentioning that you went through a first wave quite early on, but you're still kind of waiting for a second wave.
Yeah, well, we went. The advantage of Chile, basically, or South America, was that we were watching, in a way, what was happening in Europe and
Yeah.
Asia. Probably we Chile took measures more as the Asian way, so it was slightly controlled. Maybe it was the first country affected, but now probably it's the sixth, and the Chile is standing number six, maybe in the other countries of South America has been affected. Things they look under control, but obviously if they don't control enough, they might go into a second wave, as in America. Asia didn't get a second wave, so they did get some countries, but a
Yeah.
mild second wave. So Chile might get that, when we get to summer and people start spreading around, something might happen. But well, as we are expecting that to happen, maybe people are very cautious still. Some people have not got out of their, I would say, lockdown. Like
Yeah.
as I was saying before, I'm still in a kind of, in a way, kind of locked. So we try to keep locked. The kids don't go out there, don't go here. The office, we close it. Everybody work at home. So as much as we can keep it as it is, the better. And expecting things go through in a good way.
What kind of state is your healthcare system in right now?
Well, right now it wasn't. They thought it was not going to be prepared for the pandemic. They went through one very short period of difficulties,
Mhm.
but they reacted very quickly, and they allowed private hospitals to be prepared and to receive and to be open. So I think that the system was well managed in a way, and a lot of things arrived, from other countries to build up hospitals in different places. But at the end, they were better prepared than what they needed. So a lot of things that they were hoping or they were thinking they were going to use, they didn't use them. So that shows that obviously the virus was slightly spread. We
Mhm,
didn't have
mhm.
that big curve in one moment. We had it long and shallow. So that was kind of good for the reaction in the hospitals, and that's why maybe less people were
Yeah.
affected and
So
died.
it sounds like you're quite satisfied with your government's response to the pandemic so far.
Well, everybody can say that people don't do it well, don't do it right. You never know. I guess I'm not very into politics, but I can see that we are standing in a better position than the rest of our neighbors.
Yes,
So,
yeah, of course, yeah.
so we expect, if that's the case, we might be doing better. I I assume the results are the things that show how you are in a way.
Well, I think I'm not sure, but I get the feeling from what I've read that the people of Chile are actually quite compliant when it comes to restrictions and the like,
Yeah.
unlike some of the anti-maskers and hoax theorists that we're seeing cropping up here right now. Do you have those kind of people in Chile?
Well, what kind of people? How do you call them?
The anti-maskers and the people that refuse to wear masks because they say it infringes upon their civil liberties.
Well, they are, because last year Chile went through a political stage,
Yeah.
where people were asking for the rights, and all the movements, new movements, the feminism, Me Too, all the movements kind
Yeah.
of collided together. Uh, so we thought, and I thought probably people were not going to respect much, and they did respect quite a lot. And maybe what you say about Chile is used to. We're used to earthquakes, very severe earthquakes, and when an earthquake comes, solidarity of people is
Yeah.
very,
Yeah.
very, very huge. Uh, I think people respected the general conditions. There are always going to be isolated people that if they want to protest, they're going to go protest anyway. I guess they went all anyway wearing masks. So they protested wearing masks, which is worse because then they couldn't identify them. But they were following the rules at least,
Yeah.
right? They were wearing masks. They didn't keep the social distancing. There have been some people and some protests because we had some previous elections a couple of
of course, yeah.
weeks ago. But actually everything worked perfectly well. So I think a lot of people are surprised of how things have carried. You know, at the beginning, supermarkets were full, you know, nothing in the shelves. But after that month, everything, people respected their time. Elderly go in the morning, people go in the afternoon, don't buy more than what you need. I think the country has behaved quite well.
Did you have the same thing in Chile where the supermarket shelves were basically obliterated when it came to toilet paper?
Everything.
Okay,
There was,
for some reason it was toilet paper here, and it's like,
yeah,
why? Why
yeah,
toilet paper?
exactly. Toilet paper.
Oh,
It's like the drama. But at some point there was nothing that had chlorine. You know, even the tablets for the pool.
yes,
Pool.
yeah.
People were buying those ones just to dilute them in the kitchen and wash their hands and rinse their body to protect themselves. So, but I think that lasted only, you know, that drama maybe a month,
Right.
you know, or 3 weeks. After that, supermarkets were very controlling. They didn't allow you to buy more than a certain amount of things,
Right.
and in that way they said, sorry, that's all what you can buy. And so yeah, but you know, that's nature, right?
Two questions for you, just to fill this out in my own mind. Are people wearing masks outdoors in Chile?
Yeah, everywhere. It's mandatory.
Really?
Anywhere
Okay.
outside, you have to wear a mask. I haven't known of anybody being fined about it, but it's mandatory. It's like if you don't wear a mask, people look at you in a bad way. So you're kind of obliged to use it, and that's where you see that people are respecting the conditions because
Yep, yeah, I understand.
everybody's wearing a mask.
And what about schools? Are they open or closed right now?
Well, they've been all year closed. They tried to open this last month for a couple of schools, but just was a voluntary arrival to school. My kid just went one day, basically because they WhatsApp their friends, said, okay, let's go together that day, let's play soccer, and then we go home. And I guess that's a good also response because schools, they went online very quickly and very efficiently, you know. So basically we've had to juggle or struggle with the kids, you know, who uses the iPad, who uses the computer. But we've been able to, in our case, to manage. I know that a lot of families have struggled because maybe they didn't have the possibility of having more devices at home, and maybe that's been a big problem. But the structure, the model, the homeschooling has kind of worked.
Oh, very cool. So I always like to
going back next year. Still, they haven't still announced if kids are going to be able to go back.
Right. Our schools are open for the time being. We'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah.
So I always like to leave these interviews on a happy note. What would you say the most valuable thing is that you have learned throughout this pandemic? So going back over the last 9 months, or just one of the most wonderful experiences that you did have.
Yeah, family.
Right.
First,
right.
Totally. I mean, not traveling, being locked down is just family. Is learning more about each other, helping each other. Kids sometimes can be not following rules, instructions, but they realized, they learned that we were in a difficult situation, and they would help. They would be part of it. Our kids from little, they were from the first month, they knew about what was happening. We would be telling them that they would understand why we were not going out, why we were just staying there, why nobody else was coming in, why we had to wear a mask, why daddy had to go to the supermarket and wear facials, gloves, and alcohol. and today they respect it very well. If they go out, said, "What are you forgetting?" "Oh, my mask." They put their mask. They come home. "What are you forgetting?" "Washing my hands." So they've learned also a great behavior, you know, and for us, I guess the first thing was family, because in the first year I haven't traveled to the markets. So basically I've been 100% with the family. Yeah. And maybe for me it's been great. I would have to ask my wife what she thinks about it. But sure, she's happy, because we've had this talk many times, you know, what's the outcome of this is us being together. Yeah. We've been forced to be together and we've enjoyed. I know that some people maybe have not enjoyed and has been difficult, but it's a thing that, as you said, well, what would maybe happen for us is that our nucleus, our family, was very close together.
That's a very heartening thing to hear. I've been hearing that from a number of winemakers, actually, and friends from all over the world. Just that interaction with the family has been so precious to them. Something they almost overlook when they were flying around the world and working all the time. Well,
Jamie, another thing that I was thinking that it's also one of the big learnings this year is go back to simple. Be simple. Sometimes we get complicated with things. We get complicated with an answer, and this has taught us to sometimes the easy is the simplest thing to do. We don't have to complicate it. We have to be straightforward. And time is key. Life is short. We need to enjoy it. We need to enjoy our people, our friends, what we do. And sometimes we need to do things ourselves. We need to be there. When you're in a business, you cannot just expect other people to do things. You have to be involved. You have to be part of it. And your workers, they value that a lot. Like, you're not the boss, but you're part of the team. So that's something important. Be simple and be part of what you're doing. Be accomplice, you know, be part of it.
Roberto, thank you very much for joining us today at Good Food Revolution. It's great to see you again. I'm really glad that you're all well and healthy and in good spirits. And we should do this more often, have a glass of wine together.
Anytime you want, just let me know. You know, when we get the natural wines to the destination collection in the LCBO, we should catch up again. Get you the.
I would love to do that.
The I'll have to send you one of those t-shirts, huh?
Oh yeah, I'll wear that. Yeah.
It's nice. It's not fancy wine, natural wine. That's for the next chapter. Okay.
Superb. I'll look forward to that. Thank you very much, Roberto.
Thank you very much.
Stay safe.
Bye bye. You too.